Friend, have you noticed that you're running out of steam more easily these days? That a simple flight of stairs feel more like a mountain now? Or that your hands might tremble just a little when you reach for that first cup of morning coffee? For so many good men, we feel these things, and we just chalk it up to another candle on the birthday cake. We tell ourselves it's just the price of admission for a long life, and we learn to accept it. But what if I told you that this feeling isn't a normal part of getting older? What if, for millions of men, these are not signs of age at all, but quiet, urgent warning signs? Signs that your body's internal engine is sputtering, not from the years, but from a few common, hidden mistakes we make every single day. As a doctor who has spent over 3 decades treating men just like you, I'm here to tell you something truly hopeful. A vast majority of this deep, frustrating fatigue isn't inevitable. It is fixable. I'm not just speaking from a textbook. I'm talking about reality. Let me tell you about a patient of mine, a good man named John. He's a 68-year-old retired mechanic who came to my office feeling utterly defeated. He told me he'd stopped going to his grandson's baseball games, simply because the walk from the parking lot felt too overwhelming. He could feel his world shrinking day by day, and his greatest fear, the one that kept him up at night, was becoming a burden to his family. In this video, we are going to walk through the 7 simple mistakes that were silently draining John's energy, and are very likely draining yours, too. And more importantly, I'll give you the simple, practical, and free solution for each one that you can start using today, so you can feel like yourself again. The advice I'm sharing is drawn from real-life experience, from sitting with men like John, day in and day out. And it's all backed by established medical science, broken down into plain English for you. And please, make sure you stay for mistake number 7. It is the one most men quietly ignore, and understanding it could be the most important 5 minutes you spend on your health this year. Before we dive in, I truly want to know how many of us have faced this. If what I just shared feels familiar to you, please take a moment to comment a simple yes below. It shows me you understand, and it shows others in our community that they are not alone. Okay, let's get started. Alright, let's get right into it. The first mistake is one that millions of well-meaning men make every single morning, thinking they are doing something healthy for themselves. Mistake number 1. Skipping a proper breakfast. So many good men start their day with just a cup of hot, black coffee, maybe a cigarette on the back porch, and they call that a morning. They often think they're saving calories or keeping their weight down. But in my experience, this is one of the most reliable ways to drain your energy for the entire day. Here is the science of what's happening inside your body. When you wake up, your body's fuel tank is already low from the overnight fast. When you introduce nothing but caffeine, it causes your blood sugar to plummet. Your brain, which runs almost exclusively on that blood sugar, or glucose, is effectively starved for fuel. It's like trying to start your car on a freezing winter morning with absolutely no gas in the tank. It will sputter and stall. Now, here is why this becomes particularly critical as we get older. In our younger years, our body's ability to manage these blood sugar swings is incredibly resilient. But as we age, that regulatory system isn't quite as sharp as it used to be. The result is that this morning's crash feels far more intense and lasts much longer. That is the true source of that familiar mid-morning dizziness you might feel when you stand up too fast. It's the reason for those frustrating, shaky hands when you try to work on a small project. And it's the cause of that sudden, overwhelming wave of exhaustion that hits you out of nowhere around 10 in the morning, forcing you back to your chair. I had a patient, a wonderful retired truck driver named Frank. He swore coffee was all he ever needed. He was a proud man, but he confessed to me that he couldn't even trust his hands to do the fine-point work on his model trains anymore, a hobby he loved. He couldn't understand why he always felt so weak and jittery before lunch. We didn't put him on any medication. We didn't change anything else in his life. We simply added one thing to his morning routine, a bowl of oatmeal. The change was almost immediate. He told me a few weeks later that he felt like he'd been given a new source of power. The fix is truly that simple. You must give your body some stable, reliable fuel to start the day. It doesn't need to be a huge lumberjack breakfast. A simple bowl of oatmeal provides slow-release energy. A slice of whole wheat toast with peanut butter offers fiber and protein. Even just a single hard-boiled egg and a banana can make all the difference in the world. This simple act stabilizes your blood sugar and provides steady energy that lasts for hours. I urge you, my friend, to stop running on fumes. Start tomorrow with a real breakfast. Now, let's move on to the second mistake, which is just as common and just as damaging to your daily energy levels. Mistake number 2. Ignoring hydration. You would be absolutely amazed at how many men I see in my practice who get through an entire day drinking almost no plain water. They'll have their morning coffee, maybe an iced tea with lunch, and perhaps a cold beer in the evening, but pure, simple water is almost never on the menu. Here's the critical piece of science you need to understand. Even mild dehydration has a massive impact on your body. It makes your blood thicker. Thicker blood is harder to pump. This forces your heart to work significantly harder just to circulate oxygen and nutrients, which is an incredibly tiring process that happens silently inside your chest. Every beat of your heart requires more effort, draining your energy reserves without you even realizing it. And here is the core reason this becomes a trap for older adults. The natural thirst mechanism in our brains becomes less sensitive with age. When we were 20, our bodies would scream at us for a glass of water. Now, at 60, 70, or 80, that signal is more like a whisper. This means you can be walking around in a state of dehydration and not even feel the slightest bit thirsty. You stop trusting your body's signals because the signals themselves have faded. The effects, however, have not. That's why your joints might feel achy and stiff in the afternoon. It's why your skin might feel dry and papery. And it's a huge reason why a little light yard work can leave you feeling completely winded and exhausted. Your body is running a marathon with thick oil in the engine. I remember a gentleman named Bill, who came to me complaining of constant, dull headaches and a fatigue that he just couldn't shake. We ran all the tests, and everything looked normal. During a follow-up, I asked him to walk me through his daily routine. It turned out he was drinking about 4 cups of coffee and 2 glasses of iced tea a day, and that was it. He thought that because they were liquid, he was staying hydrated. I explained to him that both caffeine and tea can act as diuretics, meaning they can actually cause you to lose more fluid. We set a simple goal. He would keep a single bottle of water by his favorite armchair and just take small sips from it all day. Within a week, his headaches were gone, and he told me he felt 10 years younger. So please, do not wait for thirst to be your guide. The solution is to make water a constant companion. Keep a glass or a bottle in sight at all times, on your desk, next to your bed, by your chair. Think of it as routine maintenance. Just small sips throughout the day. You don't need to flood your system, just keep it gently topped off. If you're going to grab a glass of water right now, take a moment to comment the word water below to make a commitment to yourself. This brings us to our third mistake. It's a paradox of retirement that so many men fall into. They've worked hard their whole lives for the right to rest, but this very rest can become the source of their weakness. Mistake number 3, not moving enough. After a lifetime of hard work, that favorite recliner in the living room can start to feel like a well-earned throne. And you have absolutely earned the right to relax. But too much sitting, too many quiet hours spent in front of the television, slowly and silently weakens the body in ways that creep up on you. Think of it this way. Your muscles, your heart, and your circulatory system operate on a very simple principle. Use it or lose it. When they are not called upon regularly, they begin to decline. Your leg muscles lose their strength, your circulation becomes sluggish, and your heart, the most important muscle of all, gets a little lazy. This decline is a natural process of aging called sarcopenia, which is the gradual loss of muscle mass. However, a sedentary lifestyle puts this process into overdrive. It accelerates it dramatically. It's why you may suddenly find yourself completely out of breath just from walking to the end of the driveway to get the mail. It's not that the walk got harder, it's that your body is no longer conditioned to handle even that small demand. When you suddenly ask it to perform, to climb a few stairs or lift a bag of groceries, it reacts with shock, sending your heart rate soaring and draining your energy almost instantly. The most heartbreaking stories I hear in my office are tied to this very issue. I remember a patient, a wonderful grandfather, who told me with tears in his eyes that he couldn't get down on the floor to play with his grandkids anymore. Not because of a specific injury, but because he feared he wouldn't have the strength to get back up. His world was shrinking, not because of his age, but because of his inactivity. We started him on the simplest possible plan. A slow, 5-minute walk around his house after every single meal. That was it. 3 short walks a day. Within a month, he came back to my office with a smile. He was playing on the floor again. The solution is not about becoming a marathon runner or joining a fancy gym. It is about integrating simple, steady movement into the rhythm of your day. When you get out of bed, gently stretch your arms and your back. While the coffee is brewing, try doing a few slow, deliberate knee bends, holding onto the counter for support. The key is consistency, not intensity. A little bit every single day does infinitely more good than one exhausting burst of activity once a week. You are reminding your body and your heart that they are still needed. You are keeping the engine running. Alright, let's move to our 4th mistake. This one is perhaps the most subtle of them all. It's something we do thousands of times a day without a single thought, and most of us are doing it wrong. Mistake number 4. Shallow breathing. This is a quiet habit that develops over a lifetime. Most of us don't even realize we've forgotten how to truly breathe. Years spent hunched over a desk, sitting in traffic, or dealing with constant stress slowly change our natural breathing pattern. Our breath moves from deep within our belly up into our chest. We begin taking quick, shallow sips of air that never truly fill the bottom of our lungs. This has a profound scientific impact on your energy. It means that with every breath you take, you are delivering less oxygen to your blood. Less oxygen in the blood means less fuel for your muscles and less fuel for your brain, resulting in a constant, low-grade fatigue. But there's a deeper reason this is so harmful, especially as we get older. Shallow chest breathing is the body's universal signal for stress. When you breathe this way, you are tricking your brain into thinking you are in a state of fight or flight. Your brain then releases stress hormones like cortisol, which makes your heart race and your muscles tense up. Have you ever felt a sudden sense of anxiety or shakiness for no apparent reason, even when you're just sitting quietly in your chair? It is not always an emotional issue. Often, it is simply your body sending you a desperate physical signal that it is asking for more air. It is starved for oxygen. I have found that this simple breathing exercise has helped more of my patients struggling with anxiety and fatigue than any single pill I could prescribe. It is about relearning the way we were born to breathe, the way you can see a sleeping baby breathe. The fix is wonderfully simple, and I want you to try it with me right now, wherever you are. Sit comfortably in your chair. Place one hand on your stomach. Now, take a slow, gentle breath in through your nose for a count of 4, and I want you to feel your belly rise and push your hand out. Feel it rise, not your chest. Then, exhale very slowly through your mouth for a count of 6, feeling your belly fall. Let's do it one more time. In for 4, out for 6. Practicing this for just 1 minute when you wake up and 1 minute before you go to sleep can fundamentally change your body's rhythm. It calms your heart, clears your mind, and most importantly, it floods your system with the oxygen it has been craving. You will notice the difference most when you are moving. Climbing stairs will feel smoother. You won't gasp for air as quickly. Feels like regaining control. If you just tried that simple exercise with me and felt even a small sense of calm, please comment the word breathe below. It's a powerful first step. Let's discuss the 5th common mistake. This one is all about timing, and it's something many productive, hard-working men do without ever realizing the heavy toll it takes on their bodies. Mistake number 5. Working too hard right after a meal. Think about this scenario. You've just finished a nice, satisfying lunch. You feel a little boost of energy from the food, and you decide that this is the perfect moment to get something done. Maybe you head outside to finally fix that loose fence post, or you decide to sweep the garage, or carry a heavy box of old books down to the basement. It feels productive for a moment, but it isn't long before you start to feel dizzy, unusually short of breath, or just completely wiped out. Some men even experience a strange fluttering in their chest or a heavy feeling, which can be quite frightening. Here is the simple, biological reason this happens. After you eat a meal, your body is an incredibly intelligent machine. It knows that the #1 priority is digestion. To accomplish this massive task, it diverts a huge portion of your blood flow directly to your stomach and your intestines. This is where the hard work is being done, breaking down food, absorbing nutrients, and managing blood sugar. Now, if you immediately start doing physical labor, your large muscles in your arms and legs begin screaming for that very same resource. oxygen-rich blood. Your body is suddenly caught in a war with itself. Your muscles and your digestive system are competing for the same limited supply of blood and energy. Your body simply cannot do both demanding jobs well at the same time. The result is that your digestion is compromised, your heart has to work overtime to try and supply everyone, and your overall energy level takes a nosedive. This is not a sign that your heart is failing. It is a sign that your body is being overloaded. I had a patient, a wonderful man who was an avid gardener. He told me he kept feeling faint and weak in the afternoons when he was working in his vegetable patch. After talking through his routine, we discovered he was eating lunch and then immediately going right back outside to weed and dig. The fix was profoundly simple. He now eats his lunch, and then he sits on his porch and reads the newspaper for just 20 minutes. That's it. He lets his body do its first job, digestion, before asking it to do a second one. He told me the dizzy spells have completely vanished. So please, listen to this advice. It is not laziness, it is wisdom. After each meal, give your body a short period of rest. 20 to 30 minutes is all it takes. You don't have to lie down. Just sit comfortably. Let your stomach settle. This small, respectful pause will make a world of difference in how stable and reliable your energy feels throughout the rest of the day. This brings us to mistake number 6. It's a topic we all think we understand, but so many of us are missing the most important part of the equation, and it is silently robbing us of our vitality. Mistake number 6. Ignoring the quality of your sleep. We often talk about getting a certain number of hours of sleep, like 8 hours is some magic number. But I am here to tell you that the real silent energy thief is not the quantity, but the poor quality of the sleep you are getting. You can be in bed for 9 hours and still wake up feeling exhausted if those hours are not truly restorative. Think of deep sleep as the time when your body's overnight repair crew comes on duty. This is when your body repairs muscle tissue, it's when your brain consolidates memories from the day, and critically, it's when it flushes out metabolic toxins that build up in the brain while you're awake. If this process is constantly interrupted, the repair crew never gets its job done. So many men fall asleep with the television still flickering in the corner of the room. The shifting light and noise, even if you are not consciously aware of it, is enough to prevent your brain from entering the deepest, most restorative stages of sleep. And here's why this is so important as we age. Our natural sleep architecture changes. We become more susceptible to waking up during the night. Our sleep is naturally lighter. This means that creating a proper sleep environment is no longer just a luxury. It is an absolute medical necessity for good health and energy. If you are waking up already feeling tired before your feet even hit the floor, or if you find yourself needing a nap in your armchair just to get through the afternoon, it is a clear sign that your body did not fully recharge overnight. Countless patients have told me their daytime energy, their mood, and their mental clarity improved dramatically, not from sleeping longer, but from sleeping smarter. They transformed their bedroom from a multi-purpose room into a sanctuary for rest. The solution is built on rhythm and environment. Try to go to bed and wake up at roughly the same time every day, even on weekends. This sets your body's internal clock. And most importantly, turn off all screens, the television, the tablet, the phone, at least 30 minutes before you plan to sleep. The blue light from these devices tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime. Make your room as cool, dark, and quiet as possible. Your bedroom should be for sleeping, nothing else. I know this can be a tough habit to break, especially the TV. But if you are willing to try the no-screen rule for just 1 week, please comment the word sleep below as a promise to yourself. And finally, we arrive at the 7th and most serious mistake of all. This one goes beyond simple habits. It touches on the pride, the stoicism, and the quiet fear that reside in the hearts of so many good men. Mistake number 7. Ignoring underlying health conditions. Now, this is the most important one. It's the tendency for proud, hard-working men to feel something wrong in their bodies. A deep fatigue, a new dizziness, a shortness of breath, and to say, "Oh, it's nothing. I'm just getting old." They brush it off because they don't want to worry their family, they don't want to be a bother, or perhaps they are quietly afraid of what a doctor might find. But I need you to hear this from me today. Ignoring a symptom has never, ever made it go away. In my experience, it only allows a small, often manageable issue to grow into a much larger one. That persistent, bone-deep fatigue that no amount of rest can seem to fix is not a normal part of aging. It can be the first, and sometimes the only early warning sign of a serious underlying health issue. It could be a sign of anemia, where your blood isn't carrying enough oxygen. It could be an underactive thyroid, which governs your body's entire metabolism. It could be the first indication of diabetes, or even the subtle beginnings of an underlying heart or lung condition. These conditions don't always appear with dramatic, chest-clutching symptoms. Often, their first act is to quietly and systematically steal your stamina. When your body is fighting a battle on the inside, no amount of willpower or coffee can win the war on the outside. I will never forget a patient I had who brushed off his worsening exhaustion for nearly a year. He was a tough man, a former Marine, and he just kept pushing through it. By the time his family finally convinced him to come see me, his fatigue was a symptom of a significant heart condition that had become much more difficult to treat. Listening to his body a year earlier could have changed the entire course of his health. This is why your annual checkup is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of profound strength and wisdom. Think of it as essential maintenance for the most important machine you will ever own. A simple blood test can reveal an enormous amount about what's happening under the hood. Please, do not let pride or fear be the reason you delay getting the care you deserve. Listening to your body is an act of respect. It is an act of love for yourself, and for the family that depends on you and wants you to be here, healthy and strong, for years to come. As we come to the end of our time together, I want you to think back to the beginning. Remember John? The good man I told you about. The retired mechanic who felt his world shrinking, who had stopped going to his grandson's baseball games because the walk from the car just felt like too much. Today, John is thriving. He walks a mile every single morning. He has the energy to not only go to the games, but to chase his grandson around the bases afterward. He didn't find a magic pill or a fountain of youth. He simply made these small changes, the very ones we've talked about today, patiently, one by one. He didn't get younger. He got wiser. And that brings us to the most powerful truth I can share with you. The energy we crave in our later years isn't about trying to recapture our youth. It's about finding harmony. It is about working with your body, not against it. Energy is something you build, with small, consistent, and respectful choices, day after day. It's the result of giving your body the simple things it needs to run well. Knowledge is only powerful when we put it into action. So now, as we wrap up, I have one important question for you. This is not a question for me, but a promise to yourself. What is the one small change you will commit to making for yourself this week? It could be as simple as, I will eat a real breakfast, or I will keep a glass of water by my chair, or I will take a 5-minute walk after lunch. Just one thing. Please, take a moment to share your personal commitment in the comments below. Let's fill that space with inspiration and encourage each other to take that first, powerful step. And if you found real value and a little bit of hope in our time together today, the simplest way to show your support is by giving this video a like. To ensure you continue on this journey with us, and never miss another video full of this kind of life-changing wisdom, please hit that subscribe button. It's more than just subscribing. It's joining a community of friends, all dedicated to living our best lives together. Finally, think of one person in your life who needs to hear this message. A brother, a neighbor, a dear friend. Please, share this video with them. You might just change their life. Thank you for spending your valuable time with me. Stay healthy, stay wise, and I'll see you in the next video.